Hey everyone, out there in Floods of Justice land, this is Kevin Riggs, and I just want to give a quick update, kind of let you know some things that are going on. First of all, if you're watching this video on Facebook or something like that, go to Floods of Justice YouTube page and hit subscribe so that you will get it. And the goal of this page is really just to kind of do some short videos when things come up that maybe need to be addressed from a biblical perspective. But what I want to do today is just give an update. First of all, I know that there hasn't been a Floods of Justice podcast in a couple weeks, and so please be patient with us. Myself and my partner, Kevin Sage, we've just had some scheduling changes in both of our schedules, and trying to find the time of week that works best to get together to do a podcast has been a little bit challenging, but we're hoping to get back on track here soon and bring you some more episodes. I'm wanting to have a friend of mine, Lindsay Crinks, on. She wrote a book, Praying with Your Feet. We had her on and had a whole podcast, but I forgot to hit record, and so that was all gone. And now we're trying to get her rescheduled, but that should come up soon. Also, with the Tennessee State Legislature being out of session, hopefully that'll free up some time during the legislature this year. There were so many bills and regulations and things that got passed through and are now at the governor's desk that were really just disappointing from our state leadership. And as a result, through Southern Christian Coalition, I was involved in several press conferences. If you go to their Facebook page, Southern Christian Coalition, and scroll through, you'll see some press conferences are usually on Zoom, and you can see some of the things I'm involved in there. I have been speaking out lately on the permitless carry bill, which is passed here in Tennessee. The cut in unemployment benefits from 26 weeks down to 12 weeks. And then also our governor saying that he is not going to take any more federal funds for unemployment. And so in essence, people who are in unemployment are going to lose $300 a week, and then beginning in 2023, I think, instead of 26 weeks of unemployment, you only have 12. And there were some other issues that and some other things that the governor signed that just they seem to all hurt the people who are already hurting the most. Now, on a positive note, the governor did sign a bill that says you cannot execute people who have mental disabilities, and so I thank him for that, and that paves the avenue for a friend of mine, Purvis Payne, who is innocent, but he is on death row, but he is innocent of the charges. But there's also some mental disabilities there that hopefully now he will not get an execution date, and he'll get a new trial, and he'll be able to go home soon. You can Google Purvis Payne, Pervis Payne, and you'll find out more about that case. As a result of my speaking out, as usual, and I'm always expecting this, there's been some criticism come my way. Most of the time they're just comical because they're so far out there, but sometimes they get a little personal, but that's just kind of the way it is. There's an old saying about a turtle. The only way a turtle makes progress is if he sticks his neck out. And so I know that when you stick your neck out, there's an opportunity for somebody who wants to chop it off. And so that brings up the question, why do I do this? Why do I want to speak up? And again, I don't consider myself to be a political person at all. But why do I do this? And I think there's a couple of reasons. One is because I believe it's what God has called me to do. And I believe it's what God has called our church to do, to be a social conscience, or to be the conscience of the community. And that doesn't mean every church has to do it. Doesn't mean every pastor has to do it. We all have our different callings, and I'm just trying to fulfill my calling and be as obedient to that calling as I can possibly be. And so I feel like that it's part of what it means to be salt and light in this world. I feel like it's part of my job as a pastor to be an activist and to speak out on issues when they seem to contradict the Bible, especially in the South, where so many of your political leaders claim to be Bible-believing Christians, and I don't doubt that. I don't doubt their faith whatsoever. But yet, when I see policies that contradict what I think the Bible teaches, especially the words of Jesus, then I feel like I'm compelled to have to say something to it. A second reason is because I'm a United States citizen, and I love this country. I don't like the Christian nationalism that I see. I think it's destroying the church. But God has placed me in the United States. We live in a representative democracy, which means that we can speak out. In the New Testament days, the early church, they really couldn't, and if they did, they would be thrown in prison and killed. But they didn't live in a democracy, and so God has allowed me to live in a representative democracy where you can speak your mind. You have a First Amendment right to freedom of speech as well as freedom of religion. And so if God has allowed me to live in a country where I can speak out, then I think that if I don't speak out, then I'm not being truthful to my calling, and I'm not being a good citizen. And so that's why I do those things. And I just feel like that if you read scriptures, God is always on the side of the poor. He's always on the side of the marginalized, those who are vulnerable in our society. And so if you want to be on the same side as God, then you need to stand up, stand with, speak with. You don't speak for, but speak with people who are on the margins of society. And so that's kind of where the whole idea of floods of justice comes from. And, Amos said, I want to see a mighty flood of justice. And that's what we want. So anyway, I just want to give this quick update. Hopefully soon there'll be some more podcasts. There's been a couple of talks that I've given on different occasions that we're going to turn into podcasts, and then we'll get back on schedule as well. So share this video with others, and let's build our audience. This YouTube channel is brand new, and so let's build the audience. Go to this YouTube channel, Floods of Justice, and subscribe to it. All right? Thanks. Talk to you later.